Hey people, it's Larry again. I'm starting to get some repeated questions that I'm having to answer over and over. So I'm going to shoot a quick little video here and cover these questions so I can just refer people to the video. First one that keeps popping up, people keep asking if there's another way to plant these besides using like rock wool plugs or peat plugs, because they live in countries where that stuff isn't available or it's tough to get. Yeah, there actually is. There's actually a much better way of doing it. These lights that I got right here, I'll get underneath and let you see there. These were kind of a mistake purchase. They're 35 bucks a piece off of Amazon. You know, they were billed as LED grow lights, and they work great for starting plants, as you can see. But as for raising plants to maturity, no, they're not. They don't cut it. But I'm sure you've probably seen another video on YouTube from Bigelow Brooks, the Web for Deb thing. I cannot remember the guy's name. But he shows how you can start plants in a regular flat like this, full of expanded shale. Yeah, you can see the little ones starting to come up there too. And what you do, you let them get about, they're, at least their second set of real leaves. In some cases, like here, I have bok choy at the bottom, kale in the middle, and then mustard greens over there. They'll probably be about 4 inches tall by the time they get their first set of real leaves. You just basically rake back the expanded shale that's in there, or you could use any other type of porous gravel. You could use crushed lava rock if you wanted to. But the idea is to make sure that you're using a porous type of rock. But if you don't want to use rock, you can also do like what I'm doing here. Nothing's come up yet because I just planted this last night. This is just a sphagnum peat moss, and I got chives in there. And when they come up, they'll be easy to separate from the peat moss that's in the bottom. But this is a, yikes, a piece of the foam that's used in the towers, and it's a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch cube, and it's sliced like that. I know everyone's going to say, well, that looks a lot like a grow grip. Well, okay, maybe it does. But you take your plants out of whatever medium you're using down there, slip them into that little slot, close it together. And I don't have two hands free, otherwise I would show you, but you can easily just, shove this down in one of those holes, and what do you know, you've just replaced the need for a plant starter, a plug, whatever. This is your plug. Another way you can start your plants is just to make these plugs and put them in a flat like that, full of water. In this case, I'm using the water out of my aquarium, since it will have nitrate quantities in it. But you could actually start your seeds directly in here. You may have to come up with the way to hold them down into the water so they don't just constantly sit there and float. And then after your plants are so tall, you just drop those in there. So that's the easiest way to plant them. You don't need to buy rock wool plugs, peat plugs, coconut coir plugs, whatever. You can actually do it this way, save yourself some money, and that plug made out of the foam is reusable. Next question I had was, somebody was at, well, I shouldn't say somebody, a lot of people were asking, is it really necessary to have these lights up above here? Move left to right. And it's all a matter of personal opinion. In my opinion, I say yes, because if your lights are stationary and your plants are stationary, they're always going to be living in the same shadows all the time. Whereas if your light moves left to right, just like the sun moves east to west, your plants don't live in the same shadows all day long every day. So that's why I do that. Somebody else was also asking how long I run the lights, and I haven't got them plugged into the timers right now because I've wanted them all on, and I have one light that I have to replace because it got damaged while I was moving. That's the 3000K one. But as you see down there, I got 3 timers. They're just cheap, $5 mechanical timers. My lights run for a total of 12 hours a day. And the bottom timer is my morning timer. Each light runs for 7 hours and they overlap. So the first light here on the left would come on at 7 in the morning. The one in the middle, the 3000K, would come on at 9:30, and this one would come on at noon. Now, keep in mind they all run for 7 hours, so they're also going to shut off, in sequence as well. And what else? Oh yeah, I keep a kilowatt meter down here so I know exactly what my current usage is. Sorry, got a hairball there. That's terrible. Anyway, I'd like to know what it's costing me to run the system, and so far it's like nil, because I'm hardly pulling any kilowatt hours at all, even with the lights and the heater in the aquarium and this mess over here. I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe it might cost me $20 a month to run this, and then factor in the cost of your seeds and fish food and all that. But as far as electricity goes, I'm on a well here, so I don't have to calculate water into that. About $20 a month. And let's see, I think, oh, the last question here. People keep asking why there's only 2 columns of planter pockets on these towers. Well, the reason is, well, I live on the north side of the equator. I've never lived on the south side of it, but here on the north side, the sun does not shine on the north side of any building. Go try to plant a tomato or any other sun-loving plant on the north side of your house in the shade and see how well it grows. It's, I'm sure I don't have to tell you what's going to happen, but you're going to end up with a pretty much worthless tomato plant that's not going to bear any fruit. So that's why the towers only have pockets, 2 columns of pockets like that, and they're staggered left and right to avoid crowding. But I have no intentions of making towers with the pockets all the way around. It's pointless. I mean, unless you're growing indoors under 360-degree lighting, it might be useful then. I still don't see it as being useful. I think you'll just end up with an overcrowded tower that way. What else? Oh, I shouldn't have said the last one was the last question. The other question was, people have been bugging me about making 5-foot and 7-foot towers, because some people have bought into that hype on, they've seen on the internet regarding the freight farms, the little hydroponic farms that people have turned into, or I shouldn't say, they've turned shipping containers into hydroponic farms. It's a bad plan, I'm telling you. For $76,000, it costs you $13,000 a year to grow a bunch of stunted runt lettuce heads. Lettuce doesn't fetch hardly any money. It's going to take you 2 months to grow those. That's 1 month in a flat and then 1 month in there, and you're not going to make enough money, I'm just telling you, in that little tiny space. But no, I'm not going to make 5-foot or 7-foot towers or anything like that. I'm sticking with 3-foot towers that can be coupled together, and you can stack them to make, 3-foot, 6-foot, 9-foot, 12-foot. Honestly, I wouldn't go 12 feet. That's a little too much. And just keep in mind, for every 3-foot tower, you should probably be running about 10 gallons per hour of water or nutrient solution through them. So I believe that's it. Good grief, this video has reached almost a 10-minute mark, so I better get off of here. So I will keep you posted when these plants over here get up tall enough that I can put them in the plugs and give you a true life example of planting the towers. I'll shoot another video at that time. So until then, take it easy. We'll see you next time around. Bye.